You know how that one deal Matt gave to me back in November? He, for whatever reason, he pulled out of it, and I'm like, okay, I can't handle this. Matt formally made me another buyout offer. And I think we need to, negotiate a little bit more.
And will this be the farm and the business, or just the farm?
Yeah, well, that's what he would like, Roloff Farms, pumpkin business and the property.
It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Thursday, May 5th. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's time to get into the third video of the day. I am back to my Monday through Friday uploads. I know last month I was a little bit off because I got sick, and then in March I was very sporadic, but we are back to daily uploads. We're doing 2 to 3 a day, so I hope you understand that I had a couple off months, but we're back. We're back at it. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are an old follower, welcome. And if you are one of my members, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Before we get into today's topic, which revolves around a deleted tweet by Jacob Roloff and a sale of a farm, I want to just take a second to say, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. I know that there's a lot of you that every single day are watching my channel religiously, but you're not subscribed. So take the plunge. I promise you, you won't regret it. And make sure that you hit that like button for each video, because it helps all of my videos if you give the video a like. And comments also help. And I also love to hear from you. Today I was perusing online. I do that a lot. Sometimes I grab stories myself, like my first video of the day. This video comes from perusing, and it was a screenshot that someone captured over at the Sun. And I saw this and I was like, well, that's a different take. Okay, so Little People Big World is coming back in a couple weeks, and I got a lot of comments from you in my last video, and some of you said that you stopped watching the show when the show stopped being about the family and more about drama and fighting. So the biggest takeaway I got from those of you that did watch, that don't watch anymore, was that you started watching the Roloffs in the early 2000s because you liked the way that the Roloffs were advocates for people that have various forms of dwarfism, and sort of showing how they live and, what they do, and, helping bring awareness to the various forms of dwarfism that they have, as well as like showing how little people interact in the world, and, just that aspect of life that you thought was in, learning how they operated as a family. And you liked to see how the kids and the family sort of interacted. And for a long time, you were sort of enamored with the family as they were raising kids and sort of being advocates. And that was why you signed up. But then at some point, the show changed from a family and advocacy of, bringing awareness around people that have various forms of dwarfism, to fighting and Matt yelling and Amy yelling and a divorce, and then kids leaving the show, and it became all about drama and instigating, and you started to feel like storylines were fake. You started to see different dynamics that you just didn't enjoy watching. You got really exhausted by the divorce, and you didn't understand why they kept going when all of this news kept coming out about, kids having disputes with the parents, and Jacob publicly leaving the show and basically calling his family fake. Jeremy quitting the show and being a little bit more, I would say, he wasn't as vocal as to why he left, but he and Audrey wanted to do something different. And you get to a point where Molly sort of quietly leaves, and you're like, where is everyone? And why is it only Zach and his parents? What happened in this dynamic? And why are we still tuning into a family where it's really not what it was ever supposed to be? It's kind of like Sister Wives. Sister Wives started to be the show about I want to normalize and show you that we're just average people, even though that we're polygamists, we're not like the stereotypes. And it's turned into, they are the stereotypes. And it was as dysfunctional as we thought it would be. They did a good job of hiding it, but after 10 years, that facade has eroded. So now we're getting into the next season, season 23, and it's Zach and his dad fighting about the farm, another sibling fighting with their dad about the farm. And now Jacob Roloff put out a tweet yesterday, and he's already deleted it, but it's that they're selling the farm. So he wrote, me preparing the farm for sale. Yes, haha, hell yeah. And then me realizing the farm is for sale. Well, this sucks. What the F? And he put that out at 12:13 yesterday on May 4th. Me preparing the farm for sale. So having mixed feelings of being excited that the farm is for sale, but then also reeling the farm is for sale because it's like giving up or losing a part of their lives. Now he's deleted the tweet, which tells me that whoever saw the tweet didn't want the tweet out there. I don't believe that Jacob would have put this out there if it wasn't true. Jacob is a lot of things, but he's not a liar. I think Jacob is honest to a default. I think Jacob just sort of is sometimes, and just puts out what he thinks and how he feels at the moment. So he claims that they're preparing the farm for sale. So after all of that, Matt might just be selling the farm to someone else, and it's no longer going to be a legacy, and he's going to give up the farm and maybe move to Arizona full time. Okay, so according to In Touch, the Roloffs currently own 110 acres. It was originally like 21 or 34 acres in the beginning, and they sort of expanded and bought land around them. And he had to deal with zoning ordinances and different issues. And I don't believe they used the full 110 acres for farming. I think other parts of that are for, playgrounds and barns and things for the pumpkin stuff for the pumpkin season. So it's 110 acres, which sounds big, but when you add that they're doing a pumpkin season and they have everything happening on the grounds, and then they have houses on the properties, and they have all kinds of outbuildings, it's not as large as you would think it is. So I was looking at what the price tag would be, and so the property itself was assessed at $1.6 million last year. Assessments and actual values for sale can be different. So I'm guessing the property would be over 1.6 for a sales price if the recent assessment was around that. So if he's going to move, say that what Jacob said is true, and he's going to sell that property and get $1 million off of that, is he going to split that legacy with his kids? Is he going to split some of that money so that the kids that weren't paid for all of those years on the show will actually get paid? The questions I have. But why would Jacob put this out and then delete it? And who do you think told him to delete it? And was Jacob trying to be sneaky and like didn't even think about it and then deleted it after the fact? And if Matt is actually going to sell the farm after all of this is said and done, does it sort of aggravate you as a fan knowing that for 10 plus years, Matt has been all about, we're building a legacy. We're building a legacy. This is going to be handed down. You know who Karen's talked about how she's not a farmer. And, as much as she loves Roloff Farms, she never wanted to be like a farm wife. Is Karen influencing this in any way? Did she change things up by getting involved with Matt? Does she not want to have the farm these days? And if it does go on the market, would the notoriety of the Roloffs deter buyers from buying it, or would it intrigue people to buy it? And what would they do with the property after it's sold? Would they continue on with doing, the pumpkin patch stuff during October and Halloween, or would they change it into something completely different? I have so many questions and so few answers. But it makes me feel like either Matt has completely changed course, or Karen's influenced him, or he's strapped on cash and just wants to get out from underneath the debt of Roloff Farms. It's not cheap running a farm, y'all. It's not. And it's expensive. And as Matt gets older, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for him to do the work that he needs to do and to have the resources in order to do it. It's an exhausting life to farm. It's a ton of expense. So maybe he's just trying to get out from under it. But then it just completely changes the dynamic of this was supposed to be their legacy and now they're getting rid of it. Maybe. So sad how things change. And then what does the show become when the farm is not involved? There's nothing intriguing about them at that point. To me, so many people tune in because of the farm aspect of it. Then what? They become city folk like how Welcome to Plathville have, which is also coming back in a couple weeks. I don't know what to think about this, but I don't think that Jacob is lying. But when will it actually go on the market, and how much do you think it'll sell for? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.